This video was brought to you by Challenger. Welcome to another Ashen cast, and today we are having a look at a game of League of Legends. Spawning in the right hand side, in the top corner for the red team. We have Graves in the top lane, Viego in the jungle, mid lane Azir going up against Faker's Swain, and then the God himself on Draven, playing together with a DRX support, I suppose. Don't know, don't care. And in the bottom team corner, we have Arkrura on Nar in the top lane, facing off against the Graves. Very interesting matchup. We will see how that one goes. Then we have a very nasty comp following of Hecarim, Swain, Seraphine, and Senna. Swain obviously being in the mid lane, Hecarim being the jungler. I don't need to explain to you that Seraphine and Senna are left for the bot lane. They are in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to be very scared for the heights of Seraphine and Senna. I'm very interested in how they're going to muster, how they're going to manage the pressure that this Draven is going to put in, as Mr. God already teaches me another thing about Draven. If your jungler starts in the top side of his jungle, you can actually get 2 spinning axes by early game. And the lane is looking dire. Yeah, well, this is Pyke and Seraphine. As Pyke, it is arguably not a bad idea to just not use your hook at all, because that way you have more threat and you have a higher denial of resources than coin flipping the hooks, as he just coin flips the hook, because obviously it doesn't really matter if the wave comes in. And we see Draven just absolutely out trading one of the strongest early lane traders. So Draven doing Draven things. I recently played Tahm Senna versus a Draven. It was a blast for me, needless to say. But later on you can do quite a lot against him, especially hitting him while he can't hit you. As we see a dive coming in, and a beautiful hook on Senna will secure that kill for Mr. Draven. That is a bonus 400 gold plus some adoration. And dare I say, the lane is looking pretty bad. I would say the lane is probably over at this point, because Mr. Viego, knowing the Korean high elo junglers, will probably not leave it at 1 kill and not leave it at 1 gank. Mr. Viego will probably... Okay, as Draven is tanking here, we dropped an axe and we are good. No kill for Mr. Dravy, but that's okay. He didn't spin axes. Crazy that he was able to take that. Oh, and that is just too unfortunate, as we are going to trade 1 for 1. We are going to trade 2 for 1 in the end there. That is too tragic, because the freaking minion would just not move into turret range. He was expecting that the minion would be in turret range. However, it wasn't. It said, no, Gumayushi, you do your work on your own. Tank the turret for me. And so he did. He died. Viego died too. And that is, you know, as a Senna, you will take that. That is a small little short breath of air, you know. But the whale has attached his drench line, and he is pulling you down heavily, as Mr. Draven has a serrated dirk, a longsword, and a Doran's blade start. So there is nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do to outtrade him, and every hook that lands spells a kill for the dynamic duo of Draven and Pyke. Draven is such an interesting champion to watch because he's very difficult to play, but he is absolute pain to play against in laning phase. He is an absolute lane bully once he gets ahead. However, the coin flip starts in mid game. Because with this team comp, they have pretty decent ways of punishing Mr. Draven. Obviously, you know, Swain can be scary against Draven, as he just walks in, and a lot of the time the Swain is just too tanky. However, not only that, Hecarim ult into Gnar ult into Seraphine ult. It doesn't really matter how much damage you do. If you're running heal, like Mr. Gumayushi here is, you better buy QSS very early on, because you're going to need it. So yeah, a 10 CS lead for the Guma God. Enemy bot lane holding on pretty well, but not good enough. Obviously, being out there when there's no reason to be out. And Viego says, give me another kill, or another assist in this matter. Give me another kill on the Senna, as Senna dies again. That is just the Senna fate, right? Senna is one of these AD carries that is always in your face, or AD carry supporters that is always in your face, always standing there, always cocky, which can result in a quick death as well if there's a Pyke or a Blitzcrank or a Thresh on the enemy team. Or the jungler comes visiting, says hi, give me your gold, and takes Senna's lunch money. No Lucian to protect her. So yeah, the lead is furthering, and I would assume that once Draven has his Essence Reaver completed, he can probably proxy the wave and deny 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to the dynamic duo of Senna Seraphine. Senna Seraphine absolute control-y. So later on, team fights are going to be pain for the Draven, one way or another. Whether or not he likes it, he will always have to watch out for a Seraphine ult. If he QSS's that, there is still Hecarim ult. Probably the other way around, to be honest. But there still is Hecarim ult, there still is Gnar ult, there still is Seraphine W, there still is Senna E. And by the time all of these abilities have come out, Swain has also thrown 2 E's, and Senna probably has her E back up again, her double E as well. Not a lot of synergy when it comes to the slow, but there is one major synergy, and that is the Senna Seraphine synergy of Senna's Q slowing, and whenever Seraphine's E hits a slow target, it binds it. That is why the Seraphine double E, passive E, double E, will stun targets in the first place. That is also why you can build Rylai's on her to get an instant stun. As we see a Draven ult come out just to stop the recall of Seraphine. Very interesting. Obviously that will probably net him a kill, as oh my god, he flashes in, and that Draven axe is absolutely just an orbit as he drops the second axe as well. Being a little too excited. Little too excited here. Very sad that he wasn't able to stop that recall, but we were in the grace period of the recall. There's a certain part where you cannot be interrupted anymore, I think. Not recall, teleport. But I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure what exactly happened there. Yeah, as we see the proxy happen. The Essence Reaver has also been completed. Probably should have told you earlier, but as you can see, Seraphine doesn't really outdamage him. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. It is close though. Alright, beautiful W by Senna. And Draven takes another one. Senna and Seraphine are going down to the Draven axes that deal half their HP. And he will take the tower. Take it now, take it now. Yep, take the tower now. As we all know that Hecarim is on the way. So This is the point where we just hope that Hecarim will not people arrive before people leave. And the boots, tier 1 boots and Eclipse has been acquired, and that is very scary. This is looking dire. Absolutely freaking dire for the enemy team. A 40 CS lead on the Draven against the Seraphine. Gnar is holding his own. He's doing pretty well. Dare I say outperforming the Draven. The Draven, he's definitely not outperforming. No one is. But the Graves probably is going to have enough money to complete the Eclipse now. And Mr. Draven is already on 2 items. Now, there is a certain point in the game at which this item lead is not going to matter. And that is the point where Draven is full build or close to it. So that is the win condition of the enemy team. The win condition of the enemy team is live long enough and CC and hope that Azir doesn't turn up as well. But, you know, to me, whatever the hell Azir is building here seems to me a little bit, just a little bit, like that is a game that might be sponsored by Azir if there is a comeback in it. Obviously going up against Faker is no easy task at all, and Swain does have a lot of healing, but I'm not 100% sure that the healing reduction first is quite as warranted as, for example, versus Sylas, let's say, as Mr. Draven is not showing up for the dragon, which means that the dragon is not going to be secured. I'm not 100% sure if that is a good decision. I personally would question this. I personally think that the dragon should have been taken already to end the game. But maybe we're streaming, maybe we're cool, maybe we're having fun right now, styling on enemies, as we most definitely are with that recall. And Azir is starting to build his items. We are starting to get somewhere. But this item build that Azir has a very late wake up. Okay, so not very well synchronized with his Draven. I think that maybe a Luden's Echo would have been my choice here. Obviously, I am not in the position that I would ever win against any of these players, even if I had the counter matchup. So much for that. But I still think that there could be some work. There could some work to be done. Whatever I'm trying to say. In the coordination of items, for example. Grabbing an item that is a little bit more synced with what Draven wants to do. And gives you an earlier wake up as Azir. Alright. Now the enemy team does not have to be scared of any Azir insects right now, because Mr. Azir is comfortably dying to Gnar, which is not a good look. So he completed his Liandry's, but obviously he also completed Gnar's Trinity Force with that death. We just don't know it yet because Gnar hasn't recalled, and why would he? But Mr. Draven doing the good old Draven thing, furthering his lead, diving the Swain, as Faker is not going down without a fight. And a very beautiful flash here by Draven. As Draven, you are able to cancel Senna auto attack by flashing away, as any champion, matter of fact, because it has a little bit of wind up. You cannot, however, cancel a Q. So, still very scary, right? Because there is the chance that she would have flashed and used it on him. But obviously we saw her use it on the Swain previously, so she couldn't have in that situation. Alright, Gnar is definitely holding his own, is a little bit of the win condition, as is Mr. Faker, and Seraphine is still holding her own when it comes to the CS at this point. But obviously she is absolutely starved if you look at the fact that she literally only has a lost chapter and boots. And I'm very interested in exactly how much of her face one Draven Axe will take off. So maybe we get to see that. Probably not though, because she is going to stand in the back line like a good old Lux player and just going to throw her things in and be like, yeah. Alright, we'll see. But the TikTok influencer is not ready for the problems axis. Oh my god, that is half her HP. Alright, if we had flash, we could have flashed on her. Could have killed her. Oh, as the Seraphine ult is going to miss. That one is in orbit with the Draven Axe from earlier. Let's hope that no Starlink satellites are going to be hit in the process of Mr. Gumayushi dodging all those Seraphine ults. As that is another kill on Senna. And that makes it for the 211 power spike for Senna. I think one more kill and she will be at the strongest. Senna definitely one of these champions, like Yasuo, that get that power spike, right? As collecting souls, she will still become a problem later on. But later on is probably not going to happen if Draven can do anything about it. I would say that Hecarim is also doing a decent job holding his own. So is Nar, so those are definitely pillars. And then alright, nice. And there's obviously also the Swain, which is running a very interesting item build. I've never seen this before, I think. But it reminds me very much of the Victor thing, and it obviously also makes sense to play him like that with the Seraphine and the Senna. Very interesting. Faker trying some tech. I'm intrigued. Let's see how it works. Seems to do rather well so far. As Pyke is donating some gold. He is feeling bad doing some charity work. I respect it, Mr. Pyke. Thank you very much, we say, and move onwards with another kill, as the Senna does so very happily. Alright, we got a little bit of a low state, a little bit of a question mark state right now, where the Draven comp is obviously looking for picks, but the enemy team grouped together is a little bit too strong that we could just bulldoze in there and force stuff ourselves. Generally, there is a lack of engage in this team. Not so much with Azir, but with anyone else. And Azir has managed to go 0-3. So that is definitely an attack point for the enemy team. Someone might say that maybe the build isn't the best in this current situation. But that person would also just use confirmation bias to prove that he's right. I want to see the Tyler Axe onto the Gromp there. A little disappointed. Taking away that Gromp. Screaming, this is my gold. You all serve me. As Mr. Gumayushi is a little bit more calm about it. Calm about the Draven play. Actually very, very calm. I find it very interesting because Gumayushi still plays very Gumayushi-esque. In this situation, we have an amazing Herald summon by Azir, who is totally not inting the game. Alright, beautiful shuffle though. That is a very important kill, and that seals away the turret's fate. Do we get another charge? Probably we do. So it ended up working out because Mr. Nar overestimated himself a little bit, and also Hullbreaker was not available. As we have a beautiful ult by the Hecarim actually. And Mr. Draven is going to go down, and he goes down. Indeed. Center has now reached the 312 power spike, so mark my words. Now things are going to look better for the enemy team. I'm obviously kidding. It's not looking very good. Because even Azir has got a kill now. And that is a problem. Very aggressive Azir play happening here. For no reason at all. Except to maybe show Faker who's boss. Faker, unimpressed. We'll just go back to base. Restore his HP. And be on the map in no time. Whereas Azir is recalling just now. A little bit late. Things could have been a little bit faster here and there. But Azir also managed to delay the enemy team from reaching that dragon. So the copium suggests to me that Azir did not do as bad as a job as... Wait, how did Azir die? Azir, Mr. Azir. What are you doing? Azir! Okay, Azir recalled. Azir apparently accidentally attacked Baron? Azir is such a clown. This guy is literally going to take the ship down with him, isn't he? What the question mark are we doing? Oh, now we're also not going for attack speed boots. What? Azir, Mr. Azir. Why are we going for magic pen boots without Luden's Echo? And for attacks for Liandry's without attack speed boots? What is this? I'm so confused. And why are we finishing Morelos? Is that little bit of healing on the enemy team really that important that we're going to sink 1.6k gold? Yes, this is a very good decision. If Azir was here, this would be even better of a decision, but Mr. Azir is not looking at the map. Mr. Azir has a overlay above the map, and that is, I think, Clash of Clans, if I saw it correctly in his point of view. So he's busy farming it up while looking at building times of his, well, buildings or units, because mobile games always seem to invent new ways to reduce fun for monetary gain. As Mr. Raven might have a really good flank here. No, we're a little bit too scared. Ah, no, no. Better push the turret. Yep, better push the turret. Oh, Mr. Hecarim, horsey borsey. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, what is going on? What are we doing? Pyke giving away a shutdown to... Pyke giving away a shutdown to the Hecarim is very scary. At this point of the game, Hecarim is a force to be reckoned with. The more gold he gets, the more of a force slash horse he becomes. And now he is a fast horse, acquiring that moonplate as well. As Mr. Raven comfortably sitting on the Eclipse, building out Essence Reaver first, Eclipse then, and following that up with armor penetration already, because obviously Senna decided to get a little bit of armor, as did the rest of the team, because they know what Draven does to you if you do not get this. And then Draven knows what he does to you if he gets armor penetration and you got armor. So he got armor penetration as the third item, Infinity Edge, and now he is finishing off the fun with a rapid fire cannon, so he can attack the enemy team out of a comfortable distance with a rapid fire cannon, poke a little bit, and he also has a QSS. Now, this is the thing about Draven, right? Is he is very endangered, and this is a very outnumbered scenario. I do not think we should ego this, Mr. Draven. I agree with you that you should fight it, but not without your jungler being present. But apparently, the enemy team is too respectful and too scared, as the Hecarim ult comes into the Seraphine ult, and that is a dead Draven, because we had to NA ego this fight. Thank you very much. Gumayushi Definitely in streaming mood today. He doesn't care to win. He cares about the style points he does it with. If he does it at all, because if Azir has anything to say about that, that is probably not going to happen. Azir building... Going on a wild build a pigeon workshop tour. Dropping in all kinds of things. But definitely not the things that would be synced up with his team's power spike and what his team wants to do. There is obviously still a Graves that has been kind of just farming up, becoming strong. But Graves, if he can't split push well, which this guy can't, and if he can't snowball well, can become a little bit of a liability if you compare him to even a Nautilus top, because the Nautilus can still press buttons and have an impact. And especially with such a strong Draven, the question is, do you need more damage or do you need some engage? Draven obviously giving a helping hand there, you know, with the engage, with being out of position constantly. And that is a beautiful... Oh, that is a beautiful Gnar ult. As this fight is a back and forth. Holy moly. And the Viego kill will seal. Never mind, not the deal. Mr. Draven will seal the deal, and he will probably trade himself for only Faker being alive, 2 people, Azir and Graves being the victors of this combat. And Graves is probably going to be able to take the dragon. I think that Azir should help him here. I don't understand why Azir isn't, because Graves was very low, is very low. I know he has a lot of sustain, but Azir has incredible objective taking power. And I think there is probably a turret that is going down. Yep, there is. The turret is down. And Mr. Azir is trying to get more gold. I do understand that. He did shove in the wave, so you know what, in hindsight that probably also isn't too bad. He's a little bit of macro there. Graves was able to take it, and so it was probably my silver mechanics and my silver brain that told me that someone needed to help the Graves out, but I personally felt like maybe you help the Graves out a little bit. Alright, Draven acquiring red buff with 3 auto attacks, as a Draven should. And Mr. Draven is full built. What now is there to acquire? Levels. Another level would give us a level 16 ultimate. That would not be too bad, but it also doesn't really matter. And now we would upgrade our E, which also doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And oh, we have to be very careful here. This is a very good choke for a Seraphine ult, but there is a missed timing between Hecarim and the Seraphine, and I think this is where Gumayushi isn't playing very well, and he gets punished. And that is a comeback for the enemy team. Seraphine ult, into Senna ult, into Hecarim ult, into Gnar ult. Is a very scary combo. And Mr. Gnar running it back for the enemy team. Absolutely taking that game in hand. And they can probably finish here. And just like that, the Hecarim ult cleanse incident cost the Draven the game. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, do make sure to leave a like or sub to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next cast or in the next video. Goodbye, and thank you very much for watching.